January 8, 2026 meeting of the Alabama State Board of Education will now come to order. I have asked Ms. Jackie Ziegler to introduce our pastor this morning.
Yes, I just want to first of all thank all of y'all for coming, and just let it be known, nobody told me how hard it was to set this kind of stuff up. So instead of meeting with these good people last night for dinner, I went to church and I prayed that But anyhow, I want to introduce our wonderful Reverend Tony Rosetta. He is our pastor, newly come to us in June, and I am telling you, God sent him to us. So he is a blessing to us, and we're at Kingswood United Methodist Church here in Mobile, and I just wanted to say you are in for a wonderful blessing, and take it to heart and have a wonderful day. Again, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Your turn.
All right. Well, thank you. It is good to be here with you all this morning, and on especially the beginning of a brand new year, and y'all are kicking off your work for 2026, and of course we celebrate that, and just want to say thank you for all that you do to pour yourselves into staff and faculty and students all around Alabama. I do appreciate Jackie for this invitation. Jackie is one of my stellar members over at Kingswood. She operates our food pantry every week, and we feed about 100 families, and just thank her for the efforts that she does in doing that. So thank you. But this time, let's pray, okay? Gracious God, we give you thanks for new beginnings, for fresh opportunities to shape minds, to nurture curiosity, and to serve the common good. As we gather for this work, open our hearts and our imaginations. Breathe your spirit of creativity into our conversations, that we may see new possibilities where challenges stand before us. Grant us wisdom to lay strong foundations, courage to try new paths, and humility to listen deeply to one another. May our decisions be guided by a vision of hope, equity, and flourishing for every student and every community we serve. Bless this meeting and the work that will follow. May what we start here be rooted in care, shaped by insight, and directed toward a future filled with promise. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Rosetta. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Thornton, please call the roll.
Dr. Chestnut,
Present.
Governor Ivy, Dr. Long,
Here.
Mrs. Maggs,
Present.
Mrs. Mooney,
Here.
Dr. Reynolds,
Here.
Dr. Richardson,
Present.
Mrs. West,
Here.
Mrs. Seeley.
Here.
Madam, we have four.
Thank you, Mrs. Thornton. We will now consider a motion to approve the agenda for the January 8, 2026 meeting of the Alabama State Board of Education. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor show by raised hand. All those opposed show by like sign.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. We will now consider a motion to approve the minutes from the December 11, 2025 meeting of the Alabama State Board of Education. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second. There is a motion and a second. All those in favor, please show by raised hand. All those opposed?
Unanimous vote.
Thank you, Mrs. Thornton. Has anyone signed up to speak today?
No, ma'am, there are no public speakers.
Mrs. Thornton, is there any unfinished business?
There's no unfinished business.
Thank you. We will now consider a resolution to approve the Class A Visual Impairment, P through 12, Educator Preparation Program at Auburn University in Montgomery. Do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, show by raised hand. Any opposed, show by like sign.
Unanimous vote.
We will now consider a resolution. Let me back up. Dr. Mackey, do you have any comments you want to make
Well,
about that program?
I would just mention, thank you very much for that this Class A Visual Impairments Program, it will be the only master's level visual impairment program in the state. And we had a visual impairment program, master's level up in North Alabama, I think UAH, not certain about that. But the professor who ran the program has moved to AUM. And so we've basically moved the program. Of course, you don't have a lot of people who get a master's in visual impairment, but it is a very important field, obviously, and we didn't want to lose that master's program. And a big thank you to AUM because they were willing, as part of recruiting him, to also say, we will move that whole program and offer that master's degree at AUM too. So we're very appreciative to them and glad that the people who are pursuing that master's will have a way to they won't have to stop their studies, they'll have a way to finish.
Thank you, Dr. Mackey, and my apologies for not asking for that comment even before we voted. We will now consider a resolution proclaiming February 2026 as Alabama Career and Technical Education Month. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Mackey, would you like to say anything about that great
It's
month?
gonna be a big month. So we will, for February, Career Tech Month, and you're gonna see if, especially all the folks who are here today, we got a different crew because we're in a different part of the state. But next month we'll be celebrating Career Tech. We'll have a lot of celebrations at our board meeting. We'll have some students there with us. You're gonna see things all throughout the month, but you're also gonna see that in today's work session, we're going to present several things because there's a lot of new things in Career Tech, and we've kind of aligned those to happen at the February meeting where we'll have some Career Tech people with us. And then you'll also see today that we, in that work session, we'll be talking about, in the work session in a few minutes, we'll be talking about school counseling too. And we'll have a lot of counselors with us next month. So it'll be a very celebratory meeting. We'll be back in Montgomery. But really excited to be able to celebrate those two very important parts of what we do. And there'll be a lot of career tech things going on, not just during that day, but all across the month. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mackey. We have a motion and a second.
But I do have a report.
Report.
So let me jump right into that. So first again, thank you, Ms. Manning. Thank you, board members, for making the trip down here. Ms. Ziegler's been very humble about this. She really did help us put things together and make the connections here at USA and help us get dinner plans and plans for tomorrow. So very appreciative to her for the work she's done on this, and also her partners, not in crime, but definitely partners in it, Chuck Markham and Anna Morris, who helped us put everything together. Several of you got to come down last night. Some of you came, I know, this morning. And so I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the rest of the day during my report, and then we'll go into the rest. So obviously it's a really short meeting. Part of that, it's not because we're in Mobile, it is because January meeting's always short because it's right after the holidays, and there's just, the workflow's a little different. But this year more so, because a week ago today was New Year's Day. And so even more so, a lot of the things that normally happen the first week of January are going to be pushed into February for this year. So kind of a short work meeting. But as I mentioned, we're going to go into our work session. And then after that, we have a presentation from Mobile County Public Schools. And that'll be around 11 o'clock. Some things may have to move because some people have other schedules and they're trying to come in and out. We're going to break for lunch. President Joe Bonner is going to be able to join us probably right at 12:15, and he can be here until 12:30. So wherever we are at that point, we're going to break and enjoy and welcome President Bonner, or let him welcome us, I guess, to his campus. And then we have some other folks from University of South Alabama after lunch are going to present and talk a little bit about the great things that are going on here. This afternoon, so again, board members, a few things have changed. We've had a lot of sickness and a lot of people have had to back out on us. So we're gonna talk about some legislative things, some issues, other questions you all may have. But Renee right here, who if you've not met, she's great, and with Mr. Threadgill gone, I will make the comment as I've made to his face before, that if I can ever get her to move to Montgomery, she won't work for him anymore. She's great, does all their public relations, and she this morning has told me that she thinks she can work us out a little school visit this afternoon to the really world-famous Barton Academy. It is an amazing school. It is in the oldest school building in the state of Alabama. That was an academy, was the central office, was closed for a while, and they have reopened it a few years ago as a world academy, and it is really something to see. Now, unfortunately, the students leave there just a little after 2, so we're probably going to try to go right after the students leave, and that'll be kind of our end of the day thing, if y'all are good with that. So we would get there after the students leave, but they got a great principal, give us a tour, talk to us a little bit. I think she has some students who are even willing to stay after school and talk to board members. And then we would it's probably 10 blocks from the hotel. So then we would just go from there to the hotel. You'll still have a couple hours to wind down before dinner. So we're going to try to make that schedule change this afternoon. But we should be fine with that because, again, some of our presentations we're not able to make. If I could belabor this a little longer, though, while we're in the official minutes portion, I want to recognize we do have a lot of people here from the University of South Alabama College of Education, including Dean Barlow, who is going to speak to us a little bit later. But thank you to her and her staff for being here. I'd like to ask all of them to stand, please, so we'll know who all the USA people are. I told you, Now, this is going to be around. Some of them are going to have to stand again, because some of them are actually some of our people, too. So SAREC, the South Alabama Regional In-Service Center, is located here in the College of Education, not actually in this building, but about a mile away. But I know we've got our SAREC director and some SAREC people here. So as y'all know, the Regional In-Service Centers, the funding comes through us, from the legislature through us, but then they're all located on a college campus. And this one is one of the best and most organized in the state. And so I want to ask all the SAREC people if they would stand. You've got your team here, our director and our technology and motion director, both there. AmSty, we also have an AmSty center here. So now we've got some AmSty folks. If they would please stand. Okay, thank you. So direct State Department employees, we have folks here both from ARI, who work in this region, Vicki Chappelle, and our Office of School Improvement too, which, there she is right behind me. So those are really, to me, this is one of the reasons it's great to get out across the state. I actually met one of our employees who is not new. She said, I've worked for you for 3 years, we've not met. And I said, that's probably good for you, because she works in this area, and that's her area to work in schools that are in school improvement. So she doesn't have a lot of reasons to come to Montgomery, and we just haven't crossed paths. So these folks are gonna be with us some during the day, and we're gonna hear more about great things going on. And again, I may have made an enemy out of this principal. She's a great principal though, but I said, I cannot imagine as a principal getting a call, hey, the state school board would like to come to your school this afternoon. Could you rearrange? But hopefully that'll be able to work out. We're gonna try to work that out. She'll just roll. Yeah. So Mr. Threadgill is not able to be with us this morning because he's come down with some illness. Connor was going to do, he had worked on some legislative presentation this afternoon, but he has come down sick, and we don't want him here with us for sure. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those things, but part of that we may just let him come and do that at the February work session too. So that, Madam Chairman, is my report today. I'm very excited about being in Mobile and being here with the board today. Oh, and I will say this. This is the first time, the state school board used to go around sometimes and meet off-site, But we've not done that in, I know, more than a decade, and I think, I was counting back, it's been about 20 years. And so, we've talked about it, but as Ms. Ziegler knows, it's not always really easy. Like, the University of South Alabama's been so good about, we had to think about microphones, we had to think about live streaming and recording, and so, and how many staff would we have to bring, and how many people could they loan? But it worked out. It's a little different, and we may find that we had to move some things around later in the day. But I think it is good for us to get out and see other parts of the state. And thank you all for being attentive to that.
Dr.
And
Mackey,
I'm
may I
excited
add
about
a little
today.
bit of story to that?
Please. Oh,
Do not ever invite Dr. Chestnut or myself to lunch, right, Dr. Barlow? Because we were down for the mega conference, and that we were visiting and all that, and we mentioned that we found out that we were going to be in Mobile for the retreat. And the lovely Dr. Barlow said, well, we can host it. Amen, and here we are. I mean, it was just, you know, it worked out fine, didn't it, Dr. Chestnut?
It did.
So we might never be invited again to lunch, but thank you, Dr. Barlow. But that's how it came to fruition.
that's great. And Mobile is one of, of course, Ms. Ziegler lives just a couple of miles from here. But this is one of those districts that is so split up. Between the two of them, I never know which school's actually in which district, so just always assume they kind of share Mobile. So it's a big county, 55,000 students, and they share these schools but across Mobile County, and then the three city systems in the north part of the county. Thank you. Concludes my report, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Mackey. And since we are brand new to many of you, I think it would be nice for you to know who your board members are. And we usually have names, but since we're in Mobile, we don't have names. We do have names. They're not in front of us. So we will start with Dr. Reynolds, representing District 8, and introduce yourself, please.
My name is Wayne, and I live in Athens, Huntsville. And we get to drive 6 hours, Dr. Long and I here, and we love the Mobile area. Carol and I have owned property in Orange Beach for about 25 years, and every time we come, it takes longer to get here. But we know Dr. Bonner personally, and USA is a fantastic school. We had hoped our granddaughter would come to medical school here, but her stubborn mother and father made her go to UAB. But we are delighted with the friendliness, atmosphere, and southern hospitality that is Mobile, which is the real home of the Mardi Gras.
I'm Dr. Alan Long, and I'm pleased to say that I spent 4 fantastic years at the University of South Alabama getting my doctor degree. I'm a medical doctor of practice in Florence. It brings back a lot of great memories from this area. I have a daughter also who lives in Mobile, and she is also a graduate. In fact, both of my daughters are graduates of the undergraduate program here at South. And my younger daughter is a graduate of medical college here at South as well. So I have a lot of close ties to Mobile and the University of South Alabama, and I'm very thankful for the time that I had to spend here as a student, a medical student. But my hat's off to those of you who lead this university, and again, this university gave me an opportunity to get a medical degree, and I appreciate that greatly.
My name is Tanya Chestnut, retired educator, and I count it an honor to represent Mobile County. I have the largest district from Mobile to Bullock County, 14 counties, and I had the pleasure of spending a week in Mobile, getting to know the educators and leaders in Mobile, and Dr. Jackie Ziegler and I actually meet with Mr. Threadgill on a continuous basis to stay in touch with what's going on in Mobile. And we had the opportunity to have lunch with the dean and here at University of South Alabama. It's just great to serve as your representative on the state school board. So thank you.
I'm Yvette Richardson, and I represent the Birmingham, Jefferson County area, basically the smaller districts around Fairfield, Midfield, Bessemer. I have all of Homewood, some of Hoover, and then I go down to Tuscaloosa City, Tuscaloosa County. I have Hale, Greene, and Pickens counties. I'm very elated to be here with you all today. It's been a great visit since I've been here. This is concluding now my 4th term on the board. Looking forward to a 5th term. I haven't qualified yet, but I'm going to qualify next week. So just want to put that out there, Trish, so you'll know. Yeah. But thank you all for hosting us. It's been a great visit so far, and looking forward to continuing to serve, because the children are indeed not just our future, but our present. So thank you.
I'm Marie Manning. I represent District 6. And District 6 has 8 counties in it, kind of in the center east of the state. And great district, great district. I am a retired educator as well. I started as a teacher and moved to library media, assistant principal, superintendent when she was superintendent, and local school board member, and now I'm on the state board. And Trish, you can write this down. I am running. I love to, but thank you so much. I enjoyed. Our president of the board is the Governor Ivy, and she could not be here today, so I step in when she cannot be here, and it is my pleasure to do that. Thank you.
My name's Kelly Mooney. I'm District 3, which I partner there with Marie, but with her kind of mid-Alabama. I live in North Shelby County. I'm a newbie, but tickled to be here. My degree is in education, my passion, and I have 13 grandkids, so I use that in that realm as well. So it is great, and I love our board and the way that we work together. It's just been, they've been very warm and helpful, and I'm just looking forward to things we can do for our state. It's been great. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Tracy West. I serve District 2, which is the eastern side of our state, Cleburne and Clay counties to the north, all the way down to Houston, Geneva, Pike County. So it's a long, large district, very rural. I live in Auburn. I'm in the real estate business, property management business. I've been a small business owner for 25, 26 years now. I came into this position by volunteering in my oldest daughter's school when she went into kindergarten. And I had a wonderful first-year teacher who invited me to read with students. And so I began a period of just volunteering, and here I am today. So I consider this an absolute pleasure. The best volunteer position I've ever had has been serving children and families. So I thank you so much for hosting us today. You're so gracious to have us.
And I am Jackie Ziegler, District 1, and I have, of course, Mobile, Baldwin, and I sort of go up I-65 as far north as Butler, and then I sort of go to the east with over to Coffee. And so it's a blessing to learn of all the different counties, and my favorite thing is I call myself a pop-in girl. And I just pop into schools because I don't want the fanfare or the song and dance. I want to see what's actually going on. And I get to talk to the teachers that way, and how may I help you in doing your job. So it's just a wonderful experience. I started as an educator, same thing. I started as a teacher and then worked my way up as into the old Title I, Chapter 1, and then I went into the assistant, and then principal, and then I even ended up being an adjunct professor at Spring Hill College. Sorry. But it was across the street, that's the only reason. But one of the blessings I found by being where we were located is that the opportunity to bring the student teachers in from all the various universities, the University of Mobile and Spring Hill, and of course USA, and then with them, then they were actually listening and seeing and knowing what we actually needed to do. And so I think that is our connection connection in so many ways. And so many of you are so near and dear to my heart because we've met in so many ways, be it through the children or student teaching or SARIC or all these different opportunities, or even volunteer moms. Where are you back there? Yeah, there's my volunteer mom. And so that's how she started. So anyhow, it's imperative that communication and that opportunity for us to be together. So again, I thank you for all of you, what y'all do, because you help us get the best of the best into our schools, and we thank you for that.
And of course, the department is led by Dr. Mackey, who just does a phenomenal job, and we appreciate it. Thank you, board members, for that, and I hope you all enjoyed those introductions, since you might not have known who was where. The next meeting of the Alabama State Board of Education will be held on Thursday, February the 12th at 10 a.m. in the Gordon Persons Building Auditorium. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor show by raised hand. We are now adjourned.
Okay. Now, do y'all want a break before we do the work session?
Yes.
Okay, I heard a yes, so
I guess we did.
one vote. So what I'm gonna do while we're
give a moment, if you'll bow your heads while I offer grace. Father God, we're grateful for being in this wonderful place, for the opportunity we've had to travel here, and for the help and security that you provide us as we gather here. And as we convene and we discuss, we pray that we respect each other, that we respect you, and that you guide us in our very thoughts and words, that we might glorify you in all that we do as we serve the students and individuals and citizens of Alabama. I pray these things in the name of my Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. And the first item on our work session is, well, I'll just turn it over to Dr. Mackey. Dr. Mackey? Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you're gonna hear my voice a lot today.
That's good.
Because, normally if we're in the office in Montgomery, one of the disadvantages of being out of town is people who will go and just come down for 10 minutes. I told people there's no reason for you to drive to Mobile for a 10-minute presentation. I can do it. I'm quite capable of reading other people's slides. So I'm gonna go through the whole work session. Ms. Martin is here with me and Mr. Watts to help back me up. And then I'm gonna talk a little bit, since we're going to work session, and then we're gonna, as I mentioned, we're gonna have a break, talk from, hear from Mobile County Public Schools. Then we're going to have lunch, and then hear from University of South Alabama. And then we're gonna have some more time this afternoon to do a little more discussion. But some of those things are gonna kind of mix in and out. So I'm gonna talk a lot about things that are both this upcoming work session, but also the next kind of 2 or 3 months, like how I see our work progressing through the rest of the school year, which is kind of what we did in the midwinter retreat. Y'all remember this time last year, two very good board members with us, Dr. Long and Ms. Mooney, and we went through the budget again. We're not going to do that today because the budget's really not changed. We will see the governor's budget proposal next Wednesday. It'll be public. And I feel really, really good about all the things we talked about being in there. But obviously I can't give specifics about that. So we may come back in the February work session. It'll be right after that. And then talk a little more about what things are, I'll tell you, all the priorities y'all identified are somewhere in the budget. But we'll talk about what some of the changes are, the numbers, and then kind of how that's going to progress through the legislative session. So another thing about and I promise I'm going to get to number 1 in a minute, but so as we think about that, so the legislative budget hearings this year are going to be Monday, February 2nd. That is so different that I made Connor call and make sure he didn't get wrong information. But that's right. So the legislature, normally we do those this week, well, it changed, but we traditionally done them the week before the legislature convenes. Last year we did them the week the legislature convenes, but it's always around the opening. This year, I talked to Representative Garrett, the education budget starts in the House, and we just, at the early start of the session, he wanted to do the budget hearings February 2nd.
Groundhog Day.
So ours will be some Monday.
What time?
And mine, it's in the afternoon. I think mine is at 2. Is that right? No? 2:30, 2. I think it's at 2 o'clock. But we'll make sure you know exactly. Like those of you who've gone before or watched it online, it'll be like early childhood, my presentation, post-secondary, and then Abe's presentation will all kind of be back to back on that day. So my belief is, thank you, sir. They'll probably work a 3-day week that week. The legislature we're hearing is going to work a lot of 3-day weeks this year, which means they can compress the session and get it done earlier, which is something that's been openly talked about. But that would give the budget hearing on that afternoon, and it means they can move on to the committee meeting as early as that Wednesday. Now that's important for what I'm talking about now, because that means then by the February board meeting, just 34 days from today, we will have had the governor's budget, we will have had the budget hearings, and we will probably have the first look at what the House budget's going to look like. So it's going to move really fast, and we're going to have to stay on top of that. As I said, all your priorities I know are reflected in the governor's budget, but obviously as that moves through the legislature, we want to make sure they stay in there. So all of that will be happening. We also, two things not on today's work session agenda that I want to come back. I know item 10 is the time for this, but we're in February work session. You'll see the counseling plan again. So you saw the first draft in November. Ms. Mooney's been gracious to be our board representative on that, and Lewis Brooks, the superintendent in Shelby County, has chaired that work, and he has announced his retirement. And one of the things I want to do is try to get it done before he leaves us. But that was a very early draft. There have been some changes since then, including some language Dr. Reynolds asked us to add in there.
Thank you so much.
The public comment period's been since then, so you'll see another draft. I will be honest with you, if this meeting had not been January 8th, like if this had been January 14th, you would have had this in January. That was my goal. But it was just nearly impossible to get so many things done by January 8th. So you're going to see it at the February meeting, and then we'll hopefully have that on the agenda for March. And the other thing is we're going to come back and talk again about textbooks at the February meeting. So I know that's on people's minds. I've been asked this morning even, like, when is that going to come back? So February, I'm really close. I have a new proposal. But again, this week's just kind of been crazy. Last week, we had the holiday the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to get with Ms. Mooney and Ms. Manning next week and kind of go through my proposal. Now, if they say you are absolutely crazy and go rewrite this, then it might be March. But I think we'll have enough options in there that we'll be able to have a pretty good idea to bring back to you in February. And probably not just one thing, but a couple of options to move that forward. So then hopefully, again, we can bring that possibly in March. Wouldn't necessarily have to do either one of those votes in March, but I want to bring both of those topics back in February. So as you can see, the February work session is going to start getting kind of long. We will also, February is, you're about to see a lot of school counseling things because it is school counseling month. That's really unrelated. Counseling is getting very confusing because we are having a lot of questions about outside counseling. Right now, today, no, not today, sorry, didn't get it on today, but next month's contract review committee will have the contract for our mental health teletherapy program, which the legislature created last year, and we RFP'd that. We do have a vendor that won that RFP. It's called A&R something. They're out of Ohio. But they won the bid. There was a protest, so that delays everything. They won the protest period. So now the state purchasing office, anyway, that's what we call it anyway. What is that? Procurement office has said that we can move forward with the contract to the legislature. So that will be next month. But that's not related to our school counseling plan, nor are any of the things that y'all have been seeing about opt-in and opt-outs on other programs. That's all completely unrelated to the school counseling plan. But all these things have the word counselor somewhere in them, or counseling, and it's gotten people very confused. So I'm trying to make sure we keep all that separated. So that's kind of just thinking about going ahead. So ponder on all that, and then when we get down through the agenda here, I want to come back and see, are there things y'all want, those topics want to come back and discuss, just kind of planning ahead. Okay, school performance. As you know, part of the law, the legislation from several years ago authorizes us to recognize schools. We recognize the top performing schools and the highest growth schools. These will all be invited to join us at the February work session. So we will have a lot of school people there. Will be many pictures to be taken. So we recognize the top 25% of public schools as ranked in the school grading system or demonstrate exemplary progress and overall improvement. So it's actually, I think not top 25%, I think it's just top 25, but no, top 25%. I'm gonna go straight into it. So the top 25%, retrieve all the schools. This tells you how we did it. I'm gonna not even go through all that. Here they are. So, Birmingham City's Epic, which is a magnet elementary school, Epic Alternative, was Blue Ribbon School last year. They're at the top there, but that doesn't mean they're the top on score. It means they are alphabetically first. Okay? Birmingham City. So, then Decatur, you see two schools from Decatur, Gadsden, Homewood, Hoover has several, Huntsville, Mobile has several from Mobile, 3 from Montgomery County, Mountain Brook has 4, Orange Beach Elementary there, Tuscaloosa has 1, and then 2 from Vestavia. So these are our top, these are the top performing schools on last year's ACAP scores. And so they will come and they'll be represented. And all are very good schools. Some of them are magnet schools, some are not. But right in the middle, you see Barton, which is the school we're trying to line up for this afternoon. It is a middle school. And as you see, Barton Academy is the Center for Advanced World Studies. And they do some fascinating programming there. So even if we do have to go after school, I know you're going to enjoy that visit. But there's some really good schools on there. It's pretty good representation across the state. I will be quite honest, I didn't look to make sure I couldn't manipulate it, make sure there's one in each district. We didn't put districts beside it, but I think everybody does have a school represented up there at least. So they're pretty well split across the state, and many of them are going to be, they got it last year too. These are top performing schools. In many cases, they're magnet schools. Now, the most improved schools, I'm also just as proud of. So you're going to see it's kind of a different group. Birmingham obviously has some in this group too. So they not only have one of our top schools, they've got 5 of the fastest growing schools in the state too. And feel really good about that and what they're doing. But then you also see Butler County, Cherokee County, Choctaw County, Cleveland County, Coleman County, Decatur had a couple on the other list and a couple on this list, Gadsden City, Hill County, Haleyville, Huntsville, Lead Academy. So one of our charter schools made this list. I think that may be the first time. That's great to see. Lee County, Montgomery County, Randolph, Selma City, and Tuscaloosa City. So again, pretty good representation across the state. You notice there are a lot more county schools on this one than there are the other list, and that's not atypical because our county school districts, they're more diverse, they're typically more rural, and they have a lot more schools that they cover in most cases. So, but we're seeing really good growth in counties, and we just see some big cities and small cities on there too. So all of these, again, will be invited to join us next month.
Next week.
So, not next week, no. Any questions about these? Again, you've got the criteria we use in there. We did have to come up with criteria a few years ago. We used the same criteria as last year, but the legislation just says the top, the top academic performers and the most improved. And so then we have to figure out, how we're going to look at grade bands and totals to make that, build an algorithm to apply to that. But we're using the same algorithm from year to year.
So Dr. Mackey, you said on the one page, it was the top 25% for the performance on the ACAP. Are the most improved also the top 25% or all those that met those criteria?
It's the same,
The same algorithm is used and it's for the ACAP, which is combined with the report card. So we're looking at those, and the good thing about it, and I'm not stealing Dr. Mackey's thunder, but they're gonna get money.
Oh,
That's the message it is. And they will get that check at the board meeting.
they'll show
One
up
group
there.
gets 2,000, the other group gets 8,000.
Oh,
As funds are available, it's $250,000 total.
So it's basically 50 schools. So it's the top 25%, but then I knew it was top 25. If you look at this last business rule, we select the top 25 of the top 25%. So we consider the top 25%, but then whittle down, it's the top 25 schools in performance.
Okay.
And then it's the 25 most improved, top most improved too.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
into law, but do we have any plans to announce or to thank at that meeting, at our next meeting, that the highest performing county and city school system on the ACAP? To announce who they are?
We certainly can.
I mean, I think, you know, we had a county system that scored the highest, you know, of all the counties. I think it would be.
Right.
And I'm certain we've got a city system as well that.
So, but you're talking about a new algorithm, just take the report cards we generated.
Just take the report cards
The
you've
top,
already
yeah.
generated and acknowledge those two highest performing, one
Mhm.
county, one city. I think it would be nice for them to receive recognition.
We can do that. Can you write that down? We'll just look at the report card and we've got that. I know that the county is, but I'm not sure about the city, so it'd be good to do.
No, I feel like they, you know, should be, if we're gonna
Recognize the
these
recognize,
folks,
yes.
we
Yeah.
probably should at least say who the top performer is.
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Dr. Mackey, I know with the federal department getting rid of a blue ribbon program, is there anything, I know it's different than this, but are we working toward trying to give any recognition to those schools, or are we just gonna, I know there's been a little bit of discussion, I just was trying to.
No, it's a good question. So, no, it's a very good question. So, the last group of schools is somewhat in limbo. So, the blue ribbon schools, in a typical cycle, we go through it, there's a process, there's an algorithm for everything. And then I make the recommendations to the secretary usually in December. So this year they didn't ask if there was one. But last December we did obviously make the recommendations and contacted the schools. So the schools knew they were on the recommended list. But then the program got canceled, so they never got their flag and recognition, their trip to Washington and all that. So that is something else we could do if y'all would like. I mean, it would be a much less, less of a thing because there won't be a national blue ribbon school. But those 5 schools that were last nominated, we could also invite next month, just maybe do a resolution for them. Now, obviously, I don't have that written today, but if that's something you would like to do, and we've not publicly announced them because they never, the program went away. But we do have 5 schools out there that were in the process. They've been nominated, they have responded with their applications, and then the program was canceled. So we can invite those 5 next month.
Yes.
At least to have a kind of a wind up for it, that they just don't feel like they were dropped. And
I
just
think that'd be good. And then we won't, that'll be it. That'll be kind of the last one.
Right.
So,
But you said you'd do a resolution that we could.
we'll do a resolution for you. I mean, I'll, even though you don't see them today, I'll follow up and send you the list of who those 5 are, and we'll just go ahead and prepare 5 resolutions and then invite
I
them.
think that'd be
That'd be
lovely.
nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, can we consider in the future using the same criteria and establish something specific for Alabama?
We could, yes. It's, so those criteria, the only problem with that is those criteria were due for an update anyway. And I think that the U.S. Department of Ed was working on kind of reshuffling the program, and then the program ended. So I think if we did that, we'd probably want to rework the criteria a little bit.
That's fine, as long as we recognize the accomplishments.
Let us work on kind of what that could look like. It probably would be something using this list of these 50. So the blue ribbon schools, by the way, that's how they use this same framework. You're either one of the top performing schools in the state, or you're one of the top growing schools in the state. With the caveat that with the National Blue Ribbon School program, you couldn't be a National Blue Ribbon School within so many years. Like if you wanted, you couldn't be renominated for 20 years.
That's right.
So, because otherwise, some schools might just get it over and over. So sometimes we get that question, we used to get that question, we had a program like, well, our school won it in 2015, why haven't we won it since? Well, you can't be renominated that quickly. So let us work on that. And let me
Was there
see.
monetary
monetary award with the Blue Ribbon School?
I mean, there's no monetary reward, there was a
Okay.
big, now, the federal government did spend a lot of money on it,
Right.
because what they would do is, you got the flag,
Yes.
but then they also flew up, I think 5 people from each school, and then there was a big gala, and they faded them, and so it was,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So there was a lot with it, but not a financial reward.
Well, thank you.
But
Sure.
we could have a flag designed for that,
We could, yes, ma'am.
for the Alabama.
And something like that may be good for this, you know,
Yeah.
I know those, the bicentennial flags were a hot ticket item, and now the USA 250 banners, they don't really do a flag, but those have been, people, schools have really wanted to get one, so.
Do they get one at the banner schools? Do they get a flag from class when they do that or no? They get a banner?
They get a banner, and most of them put them up like inside
Like
the
a
building by the
flag, yeah.
office, but not a flag.
Those things are very important to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, to have recognition when people come. Okay, so we're gonna work on that.
Thank you.
Excellent. Other questions on this? There'll be a lot of people there, so it'll be good. Now, one of the good things about it being on Thursday, February 12th, we will invite legislators to come over, you know, and do pictures with their schools on too. We've done that the last 2 years. It has not worked out, only because they've either had something they couldn't leave the floor, or there was something going on, and it just didn't, you know, we maybe gotten a couple. I know last year I missed, we had 2 or 3 from Mobile County that came.
Right.
But they were the only county, I think, that anybody came over for. So anyway, we're gonna try it again. Connor's gonna work on that. He'll let everybody know if they've got a school and invite them. But I don't know how many will be able to come over. If you, I know you all know about the construction. I will tell you, it's now about a mile walk from the State House to the State Department of Education. Because you have to go like 5 blocks around, because there's no direct, I mean, it really was 50 feet, but now that path's been closed off. So that's also made it a little bit harder to get people to just come over, because it's not as easy just to dash it back and forth. I have learned that lesson the hard way. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going, ma'am.
Yes, sir, please.
I think that's the only one that I have a slide for. So number 2, you're going to see we start talking about counseling needs. So we'll have our school counselor of the year, which is Nan Gray from Davis Elementary School here in Mobile County. And then, I'm sorry, her name is Kimberly Jones. It's Nan Gray, Davis Elementary School. Thank you. It's Kimberly Jones, so she will be our counselor of the year. Then we will be proclaiming February as National Counseling Month. And then you will see that we have, let's see, we have counseling programs too. I bet that's not on here, but it's on your assembly, because those are one of those things that came late. So on assembly, you're going to see the distinguished counseling programs. And I've left my iPad somewhere, but
You want to see this?
you've got a,
Yes.
wait a minute. Oh, no, I've got them. Thank you, sorry. They're just not on my front page. So, if you turn over there, distinguished counseling programs, you'll see that we've got, we've got some from Coleman City, Coleman County, Mobile County, Shelby County, Tallapoosa County, and Trussville. And we will again invite all of them. So, as I've said 6 other times, it's going to be a crowded road. But
You might have to add some shares.
that's why I think it also didn't work out as because this is an early meeting. But it'd probably be good to bring the counseling plan back on that day, because we're going to have a lot of counselors with us. Some of them may be able to stay for the work session, so if there are questions. So that will be kind of all on that day too. Okay, so we'll have that recognition. Then you see the elementary and secondary art show. Now, this, remember, you'll see, this looks like it's just a template because we don't have the names to insert yet. But we'll pass these resolutions so we can present them in March. So remember, we'll have the resolution passed, will do the best of show presentation and all that. As you know, since last year, Andy Meadows has retired and left us. We have a new person who's taken that role, and so we don't have the exact location and all that. We're gonna do a little bit of changing. For one thing, wherever you are, there will be chairs this year, so you won't have to stand through the program. That bring back memories from last year was we were trying to do that and get up and down off the stage, and so we'll make sure we have chairs for everybody this year, so you won't have a long time to stand. We may go back to the Shakespeare Festival, but it kind of depends on their show schedule, and we've tried, it looks like there's going to be a conflict, so we may end up having to go somewhere else this year to do that.
That's
and we've
Wednesday
done it.
evening, right? This
We
Wednesday.
usually do it Wednesday afternoon, right, like a reception starts at 1, we do the program about 3. But we're probably not going to be able to go back to the same place, so we may move it around a little bit. Some of you remember we used to do it, actually, on the day of the board meeting, we would do it after the board meeting at lunch. And so we may look at trying to do something on the day of.
This one had it all in the Capitol building.
Yes.
That was lovely.
We've done it at the Capitol, we've done it upstairs at the old plaza, when the plaza was open, it's not there anymore, it was there.
So you're just gonna work on that, fix it?
We're working on it. You'll see something, that'll be in March, not February. But by the time we get there in February, we'll have time. So this is not February, we're talking about March. But the resolutions will pass in February so that they're ready to hand out. And then we'll be getting you some, by the time we come together in February, we'll let you know exactly when we're gonna do that.
And I'm embarrassed to ask this, but who replaced Andy Meadows? I can't recall the name, please.
You remember her name? Amari. It's,
Don't ask so.
I'll go look it up.
Okay,
I just saw her name, and it's, what's her first name?
Miss what's her name,
Amari.
you know?
But we'll find it.
yeah, thank you.
Probably find it before lunchtime. So.
Probably so.
So we'll do that for elementary and secondary. And then, of course, the next two will have the winners for those things. And March will be Arts Education Month. And then there's National School Breakfast Week, which will be March 2nd through the 6th, so we'll talk about that.
All right, can we stop there a minute?
Yes, ma'am.
With the newly redesigned, pyramid, and they were speaking, the pyramid, they were speaking that what they presented was not really for each individual person to sort of embrace, but they were talking about school nutrition, about SNAP, and about all the different. So do you have any idea, is that an immediate impact about which we need to be aware, or, I was just
So we
wondering,
can,
inquiring.
Yes.
Mr. Watts, we're going to mark down in March. Let's get Angelise maybe to come and talk about that. But there's no immediate impact. So nothing has, no immediate impact.
Okay.
So nothing has actually changed
Correct.
for the Department of Ag, since the new administration come in, but we've got no changes.
Okay.
Now, they are working on some things, and I think that probably we will see some changes by the end of the time period.
But this year it's safe.
But
so
right
to speak.
now, everything's the
Okay.
same. The
All right, thank you.
reimbursement's the same, even there's been talk about changing forms and all, but at this point,
Nothing.
nothing has
Okay.
changed.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's that. But related, this is what I was thinking, it's not nutrition, but in that same discussion, they talked about bringing back the presidential physical fitness test.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're working on that, but again, that's not immediate. I think the proposal is to bring it back in the 27, 28 year maybe, or even, it's not an immediate thing, but already our folks are working on getting that back. And so I think it's gonna be voluntary from state to state, which it kind of was before, but we've already been talking with the governor and her staff and with Jonathan, who does our PD, and we are going to put that back in place. A lot of our folks they're doing it, but we don't have a central collection of data as we used to. And so we're working, that's the piece, we may have to build a new kind of piece of software to collect all that information, to get away from the old paper back to 10, so you see that we'll have these things for next month's meeting, plus next month's work session is going to be pretty full. But I am going to plan on bringing the counseling plan back. Now, what I'll do, it's done now, but again, I didn't really have time to go through it. I want to read through it before I send the updated one to you, and then get it on the agenda, which really would have been earlier in the week. So we will probably get it, you'll definitely get it a week before the February meeting, maybe even a little earlier to kind of look through that. And then the textbook proposal is going to be separate. Well, let's talk about counseling first. I know Dr. Reynolds just talked to me about that. Got your language in there. You're going to see that.
Your language, not mine.
My language. That's right. I said it. You said, can you put that in there? Put it in writings. Absolutely.
You did a great
Dr.
job
Shields
of
worked.
explaining it.
So, you feel good about that being on the work session for next month? Okay. And then, are you all okay with me bringing some different proposals on the textbooks? It'll be a more, I just got two or three things I think we can look at it different ways, and everybody gets what they need out of that, so.
I think that would be great, the fact that we're bringing it back up, as we
Yes,
said we were going to. So
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Thank you. So,
Dr. Mack.
and I'm sorry I couldn't get all that ready by today. This has been really,
Well, moving
this
it
meeting on
up.
January 8th is
Yes.
converged, but I've looked ahead, we won't do
That's
it again
fine.
for a long time.
I won't be here, thank God.
Yeah, because of the way the calendar falls, next year, I think our meeting's on the 14th, so.
Dr. Mackey, I know you mentioned, and I don't know the words, but the 250th anniversary of this country.
Yes.
And do we have a task force through the governor? Because nationally, it's being made a big deal.
We do.
I mean, through other affiliations, so it's gonna be huge celebrations, and they're big deal in DC and every state capital. But I hope that as educators, even if we create our own flag or buy those flags or whatever, I don't know what we can do, but
So those are already out. We have a group of semi-quincentennial schools. They had they had to apply for it. We're partnering with American Village on all of that, and they have been presenting those at the schools. And
The
I
flags.
think they may be all presented now, yes, sir. And I'm not sure if it's I think it's a flag or a banner.
It's a flag.
It is a flag. We did, offer to let them come make all those presentations at a state board meeting. But they talked through it, there's a committee, and they decided they really wanted to go to the schools because they were trying to generate, for a lot of reasons, but mostly because they were trying to generate local press. And they said, we can go to all these little rural schools and we can get the county newspaper to show up, but if we do the presentation in Montgomery, we'll get the big stations in Montgomery, but we may not get these local. So they decided to go school to school to do them, but we haven't got an exact plan for it, but at the end of the year, as because the semi-quincentennial actually be, of course, July 4th, so we were thinking in April or May, we'll do some kind of recognition. It turns out there may be more schools than we can actually invite to Montgomery, but do something for them, whether that's just resolutions and then you could, help deliver those or something. But we're going to do something right at the end of the year that'll kind of be a kickstart into the summer as we move toward the 250th. We're also just calling it America 250, which is easier to remember.
so
But-
that's what I was thinking about, even from this board, from this resolution. And I know we're doing it in individual schools, but I don't know what the governor's gonna focus on in government. We're a government agency, and I would hope that we do something
We will.
from the board.
So we're.
And I know
all
you're
right,
capable of
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. You've got lots of stuff, and you've got even a note to tell you what to do now.
Yuri Townsend Carr is our art specialist. I was pretty darn close with her first name. Yuri.
Slow down, say it again.
Yuri,
Yuri?
E-U-R-I.
Okay.
Townsend, T-O-W-N-S-Y, Townsend Carr, C-A-R-R. Yuri Townsend
Thank you.
Carr. Yeah, you're welcome.
with all the other
Has
things.
nothing to do with Dr. Reynolds' question though. So Dr. Busman's been leading that. He's on that committee with American Village. So they're doing a lot of things in the schools. But you're right, we need to come back. We want to do something at the board level. And I think that probably the best thing is going to be kind of a resolution to kick us into the summer.
And a flag and all that routine
So
ourselves.
they've already got the flags.
Huh?
They've already got the
For
flags.
us?
Well,
They have the
I
national.
mean, they already have the
I mean-
flag. Yeah, that's part of the state celebration.
But if we could do a resolution that could be framed and put
It'll-
inside the
right.
school, maybe
And
a
it'll put them
picture
in
of
the
it.
board minutes for forever,
Yeah.
that they were a bicentennial, semi-quincentennial school. Yes, sir. We'll see.
I think Alabama USA 250.
USA 250,
is what I see people saying.
America 250. That's what the
America
billboard at Montevallo,
Well, I know that
shows.
we had a great show, and he's communicating with me about coming back and to Montevallo. It was a great visit. Thank you very much for all those.
Oh, yeah, the American Village, yes. And they, of course, they're a great partner in helping lead that work. Good question, sir. Okay, other questions about any of that or anything else? So that's kind of, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you saw that Donnie Stringfellow at the Mobile County School.
Yeah, I did. You ready?
You tiptoed in and I did not know if you saw
Oh,
him.
and it's 11 o'clock too, so it's 11:15. Give us just a minute. We're gonna wrap this part and then turn it over to you, and Renee is around here somewhere. Thank you. Thank you. I did see you slip in. I didn't realize what time it was, so. So that's kind of thinking about really what February is gonna look like, what our March meeting's gonna look like. Dr. Reynolds' question, really what we're working on for May also. So we'll have our Teacher of the Year celebration in May, but we're gonna try to do something to kickstart the America 250 into the summer during that meeting too. So kind of thinking about things in this span of what the whole spring will look like. We think the legislature, the last day the legislature can meet is April 20, it's like the 26th. Ms. Meany probably has that like double circle on her calendar when her life can get back to normal. But I think it's the 26th. But we think that they're probably going to get out a couple of weeks earlier than that if everything stays on schedule. A big part of that is really just the new state house. They've got to move all the stuff from the old state house to the new state house over the summer. And there's a lot involved in that, and so they're trying to think about a way to accelerate the session. So we think we'll probably see a lot of 3-day work weeks, and that will allow them to finish up a little bit early. Not way early. They have announced spring break, so there was talk, there were rumors about they weren't going to have a spring break this year. They are going to take a spring break the 3rd week of March. So I think you'll see a little bit earlier than that, but probably around the time of our April board meeting, probably be about the time the session's going to have as well. And then, of course, we'll be into an election season. In May, we'll have a primary, or June. May? Oh, they're May, aren't they?
May,
Yeah, May.
May.
You have that circle on your calendar, huh?
Big.
Yeah. Those of you who don't know, it's public now. Sally Smith announced yesterday she's going to be retiring from the School Board Association. So I told Ada Catherine this morning, I said, all my buddies are leaving me. She and Ryan will actually be now retiring the same month, and of course Vic retired last year, but wish her well. And I don't have any other news and tidbits, I don't think, so.
You're not talking about
Anything? If not,
Anybody on the board have anything?
of course, we won't be here all day if you have any questions, but
Don't leave.
A question about Teacher of the Year for school board. Do we have somebody that's going on to help with that, on that committee?
we
We
will.
always
We've
do.
always had somebody,
Right.
but I really don't know if they reached out to somebody yet. You did it last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Would you like to do it again?
I
I
did.
loved it. I'd love to
You
do it
loved it?
again, but I
Dr.
don't
Long
want,
needs a chance.
do you
We
want
need
to
to
do it?
baptize Dr. Long.
Are you available?
Would be your turn.
It is your turn.
What I'll do is put, have they talked to you?
No,
I will talk to Ms. Starks. It does take some days away,
It
so
does.
your schedule may not allow it, but if not, we'll.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I don't wanna be,
No.
I don't wanna be hoggy, but I love it.
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
Dr. Long says you can have your.
good to know. I'm glad to know that. The applications to the districts went out just a few weeks ago. We're on the same schedule, so it'll be in April when they do that, the part where
Right,
they board member. But I'll find out exactly where we
Yeah,
are.
a lot of systems are announcing their system teachers of the year all the time.
Yeah, they should, they're probably getting in there, making their announcement. Some's already announced. And then
My area.
we'll make the big announcement in May. It's always the old cycle. So the National Teacher of the Year, which of course, based our candidates are, based on our last year's person, that will be announced, I think, at the end of this month, or early February. So that's on schedule, and then we'll be selecting when he went right after. So, thank you, good question. So with that, I would suggest we maybe adjourn the work session, and then I'll turn it over to our Mobile County folks.
Work session is adjourned.
So, Renee, are you still here? Oh, thank goodness, I thought I'd lost you. Now, we talked about moving the podium down.